guys, it's Kayla and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things emo scene and everything in between. Today I'm back and I thought it would be really fun to go through some of my old TikToks with you guys. If you didn't know, I actually had like my original TikTok account get hacked when I had about 30,000 followers on there, and so I've been using a different TikTok account for a while now, but I kind of want to go back to my old account because it is still up even though I don't have access to it, and kind of react to some of my older TikToks because they were super cringe if I'm being honest, and they still kind of are if I'm being real. But let's go through them. Okay, so I am following along with you guys on my iPad, but I will have the video up here so that way you can kind of see what I'm looking at. I scrolled all the way to the very end of my old TikTok account. So my TikTok account currently is gravelygothickayla_. My TikTok account before was just gravelygothickayla, but unfortunately, yeah, it got hacked. So I went back all the way to the bottom of that account, and my very first video is a video of my neighbors arguing outside while I'm trying to take pictures. And so it's literally a video that I recorded of me reacting to their argument. And it's just them screaming outside, which I think just speaks volumes to my ability to just, I don't even know, live in the ghetto. Like, I don't even know what this was. I would argue this wasn't even the ghetto really, but my neighbors were definitely being kind of ghetto. Like, what was this? I can't even show you this first video actually because of the fact that there's so much swearing in it. But yeah, it really wasn't anything to do with fashion or anything like that. It was just a little intro to my life, which was that my neighbors were crazy and I myself was not in the best situation at the time. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on, I was really into transitions. I was noticing in the beginning of TikTok that like transitions and stuff were what was doing well, and I really did not know what I was doing with any of this stuff when it comes to TikTok. So you'll notice a lot of transitions or a lot of trending sounds that I used in the beginning of when I was making TikToks, like this one for instance. Like, cool transition, but also my background is trash. I would argue that, like, I myself am going through it. This is not, like, the best content I could have presented for you guys, but it is what it is. Also, like, look at baby me. I didn't have all my piercings then. Like, that's crazy. Moving right along, though. So I was 22 at the time that I made this TikTok apparently, which is great, but it's also crazy to imagine that I was 22 at the time that I made this TikTok. I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, the hair here was great. I love the outfit and everything. I think this post was good for me because of the fact that it was new to, like, I was new to TikTok and this was an introductory sound, like, let's be mutuals. It was a great way for people to find me. I think I found a lot of people in the beginning using sounds like this. So this was really good for me back then. But I will say, like, it is kind of cringe to see me use things like that because now I don't really use trending sounds too much. Like, I really do just kind of put whatever music I want with my stuff and then make more like fashion based content now as opposed to things that are just like, I don't even know, trendy, quote unquote. I don't know. Immediately, this video did so much better for me than a lot of other videos because I actually put a lot more into it as far as being creative. It wasn't just like using a trending sound or doing a little transition. In this video, I was actually putting in stuff that I do that I thought would people that were within my niche, like being emo scene, would relate to. And I think that this did well for me. And honestly, like, I do like content like this. Like, I prefer this over some of the other stuff that I made back then because at least this took some time and put some thought into it. I don't like to make content that doesn't have something behind it, but I will say that I am experimenting a lot more with stuff that I do over on TikTok. So I don't even know what to say about content that will be coming out over there in the next couple of months, but I will say that several years ago it was definitely very different from what I do now. With everything as far as my social media and over there especially. So it is interesting, but this video did well for me. The trending audio, it was just a nice video, and it was also a very simple video to make, I might add. I like this video because I finally actually have a background, which is cool. I also really can appreciate the fact that like my hair is different and not red anymore. Like, thank you. Finally, we moved on from the red hair. The lashes are a lot. I don't wear lashes as much as I used to, and I do enjoy lashes, but I will say that I had like lashes on and I drew them underneath, and like that's a lot of, it feels like a lot. I don't know why, but my makeup feels like a lot here. But no, I used to, at this point, I think I realized that I wanted to like have a background and wanted to make my content a little bit nicer, which is cool. But I will say, like, I was batch creating content, only using sounds. There wasn't a lot of creative thought going into these things. And I think that for the longest time, I struggled with TikTok because of that. Like, I don't know. For all social media platforms that I've been on, that is the one platform that I have just struggled to create content for, because I've never been able to get into it as much as, like, maybe other platforms. Like, this, to me, feels so much easier than, like, making a TikTok. And I don't even understand why. But nevertheless, this wasn't that bad. That really wasn't. It had some likes and stuff. I feel like content like this did well because of the fact that it had the trending audio. Okay, so content like this was interesting for me, in my opinion, because of the fact that it's very different from other stuff that I was doing. It wasn't fashion-based content, and I was doing a lot more like spiritual content, and I really kind of enjoyed doing that. As far as like doing cleanses, doing little spell jars, and things like that, I was posting a lot of that kind of content on TikTok, and I was interested in the way that it kind of like panned out. Like, I did find it interesting to make that kind of content, but I will say that I don't think I was reaching the specific audience that I wanted to reach with that kind of content. And it did kind of fade away from it as well, because as much as it is something that I'm interested in, it's just not something that I want to maybe like showcase on the internet as much. It was something that like I enjoyed making during the time, but I definitely feel like now I really am more motivated to make that like fashion based content that you guys enjoy seeing and stuff. So these things are cool. I do like these like TikToks where I am doing stuff that's a bit witchy and a bit fun, but I will say that I do enjoy now more my like fashion based content going forward. I think that it is really nice, and it's a good change. But let me know what you think. Did you like the witchy stuff? Have you seen this before? Like, let me know what you think. A little spell jar. See, this kind of content was cute. I was doing little tutorials on like how to be witchy. Yes. Okay, so I love content like this because it's a little tutorial on how I do my hair. This is definitely the heart and the bread and butter of my stuff now that I do, as far as like showing off, you know, my hair, my makeup, my fashion, things like that. I love this tutorial. I love that this is when I started to kind of like figure out what I enjoyed doing on TikTok. I definitely haven't been as consistent on there as I have many other social media platforms, but when I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do, this is how I figured it out. Like, I would make content like this and saw how well it would do, and also it was just fun to make, and it felt more, I don't know, it just felt easier to make, and I was like, I really do enjoy just like showing this to people. So it really motivated me. I would say like this is like the bread and butter of what I do now, but like it's nice to see it back then too. Like back in 2022, I was doing very similar stuff as far as just kind of showing people how I do my hair, my makeup, and just like showcasing emo scene fashion for everybody. Okay, so this video went viral, which is amazing. I'm glad it did. But it was also super dangerous. Like, I took a monster can, I turned it into a candle. I thought I was so quirky and cute. I used a trending audio at the time that just so happened to fall into my niche, so it was perfect. And it absolutely did get a lot of attention. I will say that it is super dangerous to do this, though. Like, that candle itself is very dangerous. It would 100% cause a fire, and it didn't cause a fire, like this candle didn't, but I absolutely burnt my balcony down afterwards with a candle. And I will say that, like, this should have been foreshadowing. Like, and people in the comments were telling me, hey, this is dangerous, don't do it. Because not only is it not a safe candle, but also it's so hot and it's tin. Like, why? Don't touch it, you'll burn yourself. Like, there's so many reasons why you should never do this. And I was just posting this on the internet. It just goes to show you that you should not trust everything that creators are putting out. Like, I'm not saying that all of your favorite creators put out bad content, but I'm just saying that sometimes people don't think about the content that they put out when they do it. And this taught me a lot about the stuff that I put out here. Like, I really do try to be more thoughtful about the things that I say and the content that I'm posting because of this right here. Because this was, like, absolutely not okay, and I look back on it and I'm just, like, horrified that I ever posted this and thought it was okay. But I was just young, you know, I was growing up. I get I'm in my 20s, you know, I should know better, but at the same time, like, you're young, you're developing, and you're just, you know, I didn't realize the implications at the time. It doesn't make it right, and I've definitely learned to be better and more careful, and especially when it comes to putting content out there, but I was young and stupid. That's all I have to say for that one, really. Just scrolling through here, there is so much witchy content, and I love that. I think it's amazing that I was making all this content at the time, but it's crazy to think that now I've like shifted so far from it, as in like I'm not making as much content on that. I definitely have a video up on my channel now that shows off like some of my crystals, my tarot cards, things like that. But I don't like showcase that stuff as much as like making content focused on it the way that I did back then. But it's interesting to see the content that I did come up with when I was doing that. I'm glad we've shifted to more fashion-based content though. It's definitely a lot better now. And it's crazy to think that I'm going through these old TikToks and we're still just in 2022. Like there's still so much more to go over to show you guys when it comes to this. But yeah, wow. Going through all of these, I must say I'm definitely glad that I started doing things like makeup tutorials and other stuff like that, because I think if I had just done the witchy content, that a lot of you would not have stuck around for it. And I also think that I myself would have just gotten bored and probably have quit making content, just because it was not something that I think that I was just like as in tune with. Like I wasn't enjoying it as much. It didn't come as naturally to me as this does. And so I definitely can see where the tutorials, the fashion-based content, the things that really focus on me, you know, and like things I enjoy a lot more, I think that they really were doing a lot for me. I do enjoy obviously the spiritual aspect of it, but I just don't think I was reaching people in the way that I wanted to, in the way that I get to doing this. But wow, it's crazy to see the way that I've grown so much in this. And these, again, these are just like older TikToks. Like there's so much more. There's like a chunk of my life I feel that is just like on TikTok, and it's so cringe kind of looking at it, to be honest, because I mean, the ideas that I thought were good at the time, like, yeah, some of them are really good, but it's just wild to think, like, how much time I spent putting into these things, and honestly, they just, you know, they weren't ultimately for me, or, like, weren't what I wanted to do. I'm glad I finally figured it out, that it was more the fashion for me, it was more the culture, things like that, as opposed to other things, and that kind of is the journey when it comes to social media, kind of like narrowing down what you enjoy and figuring out what you like to make when it comes to posting stuff, so I am glad I figured that out. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here because I don't want it to be super duper long. I have so many more TikToks I can go through and different things I can show you in regards to how my TikTok has changed. So definitely let me know if you want a part 2 to this video. I would love to make one for you. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. If you like videos like this, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when I post. Also, make sure that you leave a like on this video and comment below letting me know what you think of my old TikToks versus my new TikToks. Don't forget to follow me over there, and remember that it is gravelygothickayla _ over there now because I did get hacked. But yeah, definitely go over there and check out my new stuff. I think it's a lot better than the stuff I made back then, and definitely a lot less cringe, I hope. Probably not though. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skedaddle. Remember to stay safe, make good choices, and remember that you're awesome. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.